Good morning and welcome back to Gaming with ADHD. Today we're taking a look at the Starfinder role-playing game Galaxy Exploration Manual. Now this was released in 2021. In fact, just a couple of weeks ago, if you're watching this right now, I actually just picked up the book. And while this book is designed for the science fantasy setting of Starfinder from Paizo Publishing, I decided to pick up the book after hearing that it had rules for star system creation and for playing in a sandbox universe. So, this review is actually going to focus more on those aspects as opposed to the Starfinder specific information such as rules for character classes, equipment, feats, or magic. While these could be adapted into other games with a bit of work, I think the real shine of this product is in the exploration and sandbox rules. At least to me, I think that. Because to me, they do appear to work very well for all sorts of systems. So, while researching this, I have decided that I have a lot to say about the book. So I am going to actually break the review up into two parts. The first video is going to deal with the exploration system and how it works. And then the second video is going to be a review of the sandbox rules. Whether you are playing Starfinder or another science fiction game like Star Trek Adventures or Star Wars or even a game like Shadowrun, I think you're going to find this book useful, but let's take a look at why I think so. All right. So first off, just some background. Like I said, it was released in 2021. It comes in at 159 pages. The book is $39.99 US in its print form, or for only $9.99, you can pick it up as a PDF directly from Paizo. Now, it has rules, like I said, for creating planets, exploring star system, and sandbox play. So those are kind of the highlights of the book. Now, the exploration system. It is actually just condensed down to only 5 pages. But to me, I think it's actually amazingly thorough in what they present. It is broken down into 4 phases. The first being galaxy exploration. I think these phases are designed to give players flexibility and GM's input as to what the players are going to find. And so starting with galaxy exploration, the players and the GM will work together to find clues as to the location that players want to travel to. Now, once they've traveled to that system, then the system exploration phase kicks in to help players discover what's in the star system. The exploration from orbit step lets players use their ship's sensors to analyze the planet before making landfall. And finally, the world exploration step takes the players on planet and provides methods for exploring their surroundings. Now, each step does have downtime activities. Paizo added rules for this in the character operations manual, but this specific rule is not actually included in this book. They do provide a link to the system resource document, which is sfrd.info. But the short description of downtime activities is if your character is not involved in adventuring, starship combat, overland movement, or any other time-consuming activity, you can choose one downtime activity to complete. So, let's actually get into this and look at how the different phases work a little bit more in detail. So first off, galaxy exploration. Now, during this step, players and GMs are going to work together to discover clues as to a new location. And the downtime activity is just that. Locate galactic destination. Whether that activity is finding coordinates, finding a guide, references in an old star map, or some other clue, the whole point of this step is for everyone to work together to find that location where you're going to travel to. Once the GM decides that there have been enough successes, so basically, if you are going to adapt this to a game such as Shadowrun, which uses successes on, a number of successes on your dice, as opposed to a single dice roll, basically it's a number of activities that need to succeed. So, like I said, where you need to locate coordinates or a guide or references on a map. Once you've discovered enough of these clues to finding the location, then you can actually travel to that location. So, once we've traveled to that location, then comes the system exploration step. So, players, once they reach the system, can't just, drop on planet and call it a day. I realize that if you wanted to be kind of hand-wavy and just get into the action, you could do that. But the whole point of this system is to kind of explore and expand on these topics. Don't just, have players show up on the planet and boom, they're into their next step. So, what kinds of things are you going to do when you do reach the system? So, the 2 downtime activities are, number 1, map the star system. What are the planets in the star system or other features? Is there any large asteroids or unique features that can just be seen by observing the star system? The next thing is to actually analyze that data. So you can use this to find abnormalities or anomalies or other phenomena in the star system. Are there multiple asteroid belts? Are there, for some reason, all of the planets are gas giants? Are you looking for a large asteroid, but all you can detect are large gas giant type planets? So the whole point of this particular activity is finding a way to narrow in your location where you're trying to go. After all, space is really big. There's a lot of space. Yeah, that sounded horrible, but I'm going to stick with it. So, that's the system exploration step. Once you've completed that, you'll then move into exploration from orbit. So your players have now discovered where they're going, but do they actually want to get on planet right away? So what can they find? What can they see from orbit? And so the downtime activities here, number 1 is world analysis. Is the atmosphere breathable? Is it too hot? Are there rivers of lava? Instead of water, what kinds of flora and fauna can be detected? There's no sense going in blind if your ship's sensors can at least prepare you for what to expect once you reach the surface. The next step is world mapping. Okay, are you going to the mountains on the northern continent? Well, what can your sensors see? What kind of, can you put together at least a basic, scanned map of the area so that once you actually get on planet, you have an idea of where you're at. You're not just driving around blind. And so the mapping at least gets the players a general idea of what they're going to be exploring. Then, not the final thoughts. So I didn't make a note for this, but the next one is the world exploration. So at this point, the players are on the ground. And is the world uninhabited? What happened to the people that used to live there? Are there people, but they have never been contacted before? At this point, the players could potentially be at the beginning of a long-running campaign exploring this new world. Or maybe they're just here to steal an ancient artifact before a rival group of explorers. Whatever the case, at this point, the players then start what is called hexploration. Now, an exploration log is actually provided at the back of the book. If you give me a second, I will pull that up. And so the exploration log is this. So the exploration log actually shows the information that the players have recorded about this planet. Be it... There we go. Be it the name of the world, the system, what type of system it is, gravity, atmosphere, any other notes, anything else they want to write down. In addition, it has this map of hexes. Now, each hex represents about 12 miles of terrain, and players can use this to record there's a swamp or a forest or mountains in this area as they are exploring. And so basically this will help players, create this world as opposed to the GM having to create it all at the same time. Now, in this section of the book, there are a few tables, and they do give additional information such as how sensors can modify the results of tests, looking for planetary anomalies or just different things. But overall, the section does keep things, rather broad and rather open so that the players and the GMs aren't constrained to particular bits of information. I really like how they actually presented the information. They and to be honest with you, just this section alone, just these 5 pages, to me made me very happy with my purchase. I think I wouldn't necessarily want to pay $10 for just 5 pages of content, but I think even with with everything being geared more towards Path or Starfinder, I think that description to me made was kind of the icing on the cake for the purchase. In addition, even within these 5 pages, the art is fantastic. There's about 3 or 4 pieces of art in that section, and they give players and GMs a great and repeatable process for coming up with new locations to adventure in without needing a pre-written supplement. And then when combined with the world building rules, which I'll cover in the next video, this book really shines in not just science fiction settings, but pretty much any setting that you want to use it in. The locations don't have to be on another planet. Maybe they're on an unfamiliar continent, a corporate research facility. Maybe your characters were taken to a different plane of reality. If you've watched my channel for a while, you see that I'm a fan of Shadowrun, and I think using this system could easily be used for a game like Shadowrun, where you go to a continent that like South America that while it has some information about it, hasn't been as highly detailed as, say, North America or Europe within the setting. And then obviously with settings such as Star Trek, this is a natural fit. Game like Star Trek, which is going to be very much about exploration and encountering new alien life and new worlds, as we all know from the opening, this is going to be a great supplement for even a game like Star Trek Adventures, just to help a GM come up with those new worlds and those new civilizations. So overall, I think this is a great book. Again, I want to cover more of the details later, so I'm sorry I wasn't able to cover everything, but If you've got any questions, please put them down in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think about it. And if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. And of course, do subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to put out more gaming content, whether it's role-playing, tabletop, or miniatures games. Basically, I like just talking about the different things that I've got in my collection. So, thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you next time.